Welcome, Brindle Man.
Hey, hey! Welcome, everybody.
For our 22nd episode of Pokemon.
22. Yeah. And, if I'm not mistaken, I believe we're gonna finally get to see your favorite Pokemon.
Yep.
Or at least top two. I know you've fallen in love with your Arceus Zoroark.
Yeah, but you know what? I feel like I have to love Gengar more because I've known him longer, and he's definitely in more games. You know, like there's a deeper connection. But I just really love the way Zoroark looks.
Gotcha. Yeah, he's like that really good-looking girl. That you know what? I'm gonna stop that analogy right now. Mm-hmm. It's gonna go the wrong way.
It's like my wife.
You follow. Yeah. Well, I'm excited. Do you remember much about this episode?
Yeah.
You do?
I feel like I remember everything about this episode.
Really? I remember that Ash dies or something.
Whoa,
and I remember that the ghosts are pretty goofy.
Yeah.
That's about it. I don't really remember that much about this episode. I feel like so far, just at the beginning of Pokemon anime first season, most of the episodes, I feel like I've had a more or less a good grasp on what was going to happen. On this one, I remember how the episode ends and just like one or two things that actually happen in the episode. So it'll be for me like watching it for the first time, I think, or maybe not the first time, but like maybe one of those refresher courses.
Yeah. I remember. I feel like most things about this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really remember liking it. Even though it includes my favorite Pokemon.
Oh, so it's a letdown episode. Dang it.
But who knows? Maybe my tastes have changed.
Yeah, that's true. You never know. You didn't think you were going to love the Raichu one.
Yeah, that's true. And it's actually like my highest rated episode.
Mm-hmm. Along with Ghastly one? Yeah, you got to see a good Ghastly one.
Yeah, that was a 4.5 though. I think that Raichu is the only perfect score.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let's see what these ghosts have in store for us.
Alright, and just
you're gonna tell your little YouTube intro.
Yeah, but I say before we get started, all the people who are watching this on YouTube, again, you're gonna hear us talking right now. You're gonna see our intro, and then it's gonna cut right to the part where we're talking about after the episode. Again, it's for copyright reasons. We are legally allowed to show like clips and highlights and stuff like that, but we're actually gonna watch the show in its entirety, which is not, I guess, necessarily copyrighted. We can't just put something in the description to get away with the copyright. So
yeah, not on YouTube.
The link will be in the description. You can watch it after our show. You can pause it now and watch it with us, or come back to the ending and we can talk about it all together. Or you're welcome to watch the episode in advance and just talk to us in the chat, you know, about everything. But
that is always an option. Yeah, for sure.
All right, are you ready?
Yeah, of course I'm ready.
Let's go. Two best friends watching Pokemon. Doesn't get better than this.
All right. Back on the chat. Back on YouTube.
Welcome back, everyone.
welcome back. That was, I really, really liked that episode. More than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, me too. I think when I was younger, maybe the humor, I was hoping it to be more like on theme with Sabrina's episode. Maybe.
Oh, I see.
And kind of keep up with the horror.
We've already talked about how the ghost Pokemon don't ever seem to be malicious. They just like to creep people out and have a good time.
Yeah.
However, I have to say, like, I am a big fan of Mr. Bean and, like, his shows and movies. Like, that kind of humor is super funny to me. And I feel like this is kind of what they were going for with these ghosts.
Oh, I don't know Mr. Bean.
You don't?
No.
I'm trying to think what his real name is. He's like... What's his real name? I'll just look it up here.
While he's looking that up, for everyone on YouTube, if you haven't watched the episode, a quick recap. They make it through they walk from Saffron to Lavender through a misty forest. They get to the haunted tower, which looks like a tower built for Gengar and Haunters and Ghastlies. They walk in and it's classic creepy. Spider webs, everything's dirty, dusty, dark. Team Rocket's already in there. Why do only one of you have a beard? It's actually it's a metaphorical beard meant to symbolize.
We don't talk about that. I'm sensitive.
His beard's on the other.
Feelings.
Is on the other side of his head. He has a reverse beard.
That's a very good question. The real answer to that is I get no kisses from my wife if I have any facial hair. So it's there in spirit, I promise.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like 3 bananas. If you wonder what it looks like.
Just a Super Saiyan banana beard.
They make it through the tower. They run into a ghastly Haunter and Gengar. In Ash's pursuit of him, he actually knocks the floor, and a chandelier falls on him. He is murdered, and Haunter actually rips his soul out of his body. What do you say? No woman is perfect? Yeah.
Yeah. No woman is perfect.
No woman is perfect. Oh, no. Oh, it's not no comma. Woman is perfect. It's no woman is perfect.
Right.
I read it no comma. The woman's a perfect excuse to not have facial hair.
No. I'm as swift as can be. But welcome, Fire Zombie. Is this your first time here? I don't remember.
It says first time chat.
What? Huh?
It says first time in the chat though. I don't know if it's the first time.
All right. Welcome, Fire Zombie. It's good to have you. Awesome. Thank you for the support. Thanks for coming on.
Ash has a little too much fun being a ghost. They fly around. They pull some horrible tricks on Misty. Afterwards, Misty and Brock flee in the tower to find Ash. Ash returns to his body and they decide to leave, and Haunter wants to stick around for the ride.
That Haunter
What's your
really
favorite Pokemon, Fire Zombie? Do you even like Pokemon?
He was just hoping to find a couple of guys with banana beards, I'm sure. Yeah, tell us what your favorite Pokemon is.
While he's thinking about that, why don't you tell me what you think of this episode?
Sure. Before I do, though, I was going to tell you, look up Rowan Atkinson. That's the guy I was talking about.
The only Mewtwo, yes. No, I think I know who Mr. Bean is. I think if I remember right, wasn't he the guy who got caught masturbating in public?
Oh, I have no idea about that.
I think so.
The only good answer is Mewtwo.
Man, Mewtwo's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's not.
Just look him up, dude. Look him up on your Google.
That's Pee Wee Herman. You're right. That was Pee Wee Herman. What's the guy's name?
Rowan, Rowan Atkinson. There he is. That dude.
Oh yeah.
He I got a lot of vibes from him in this episode. He has like a new show on, I don't know if it's a show or movie on Netflix, where he's like taking care of someone's house and there's a bee in there, and he just starts wrecking everything trying to kill this bee.
Are you serious? Like he's
Mr.
an actual
Bean
genius?
is an actual genius. Amen. He's a comical genius. I love him.
Like a funny guy, or you mean like his IQ is actually like rivaling some of the smartest people on Earth?
He is literally an Alakazam in a human body.
Oh,
Several
wow.
degrees in science. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Wow.
Would you say he's
educated?
A Bill Nye kind of scientist? Bill Nye, the science guy. I don't know if that...
Yeah.
Does Bill Nye have any degrees? No. He's not. I don't actually know if Bill Nye has any degrees.
I know he still is like in the game.
Bill Nye's dumb.
I don't know if Bill Nye's dumb. Well,
I don't know anything. I just remember liking him whenever we got to take a day off school, and the teacher would roll the computer or the TV in, and
yeah,
it was a Bill Nye day.
He's like, hey kids, science rules. Oh man, honestly, I wasn't expecting this, but this episode was a comedy one. It's an episode that's marketed as ghost and scary, but it was literally a comedy episode. Science rules. Oh, Bill Nye has one master plan
in mechanic engineering from the 70s.
Oh jeez.
So it's probably not. It's probably like not even
one
like
master
usable.
degree. Gotcha.
It's probably like not even like usable anymore. Oh, Frosty! Why does Katie have her full name as her username? Fix it. Trevor, we don't know how. You're our computer guy. I was just telling Brian here how anytime I ever run into any problems, I just call you, like even if you're on base or not. Like one time I called him for some help, and he's like, I'm literally about to get in a helicopter. He's like, I'm working right now. I was like, wait, I have this issue. And he helped me before getting on his duties in the military, helped me configure my controller for a video game.
Oh, that's a true friend right there.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix my name.
He calls me when I'm flying. Yeah. He
calls me while I'm flying.
I literally have no boundaries with him.
That's funny.
Well,
I feel like for me this episode, I mean, what's the story behind this episode? He's just going into a haunted house trying to catch ghost Pokemon so that he can face Kadabra. That's about it, right? Yeah. Like the rest of it is just funny moments. Mm-hmm. I had to I was like writing them on my phone because there were so many funny scenes. Just the hole, like the part where James falls through the hole. I don't know why. It's another hole joke, but that one really got me. I thought that was funny.
Oh, Brock. Fire Zombie! It's because he's the one who like put the game. It's for a Flash game, and he was the one who actually installed it and configured it the first time. And so I just knew. And the crazy part is he actually configured it from memory. Like,
oh wow,
he did it all from memory. It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, my two IT homies, I have a second monitor here that I'll probably be calling y'all later up for some help setting up.
Yeah, but it's surprising how far we've come with this stream, knowing as little as we know with computers.
Yeah, they know exactly how little I know too. At least compared to them, you know. Oh, but go on with your list.
Sure. Yeah, I thought James falling through the hole was funny. Charmander just charring Brock.
Yeah.
like this candle. I thought it was funny. Just every time Haunter just popped his eyes out.
Yeah.
Brain dead.
That's me.
He says you're brain dead. Or I'm brain dead. Someone's brain dead
It's
here.
me.
Just you.
Literally, like, anytime Trevor's over here, I'm just like, hey, how do I do this? Hey, can you fix this? Hey, can you last time he was over here, I actually had him working with power tools, like pulling up what are they called, drapes?
Oh my gosh.
Just because he's also tall.
My wife did that too. The first time I ever went to her place, like, before we were married, she's like, here, can you put up these curtains? And I was like, oh man, is this how it's always gonna be?
Is it? And was it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She got me though.
Yeah.
That my favorite part though is when he was just calling the ghost weird, and how he didn't get it, their jokes, and they were just
devastated.
So sad.
Just devastated.
It literally, they were so sad. It literally starts snowing inside of the tower and burying them in snow. And as far as image, Shiri, and designs, I thought that part where all three of them jumped together and they had like the rays coming on in the background.
Their own little Team Rocket moment.
Yeah, their little Team Rocket moment. That was cool. I like that. Yeah. So I feel like this episode is as much. It's just a comedy. It's just a bunch of comedy bits, and not very much of a story. It's like Ash is going in there to catch ghost Pokemon, and at the end, Haunter goes out with him. But yeah, it didn't have to be a story. It was funny. It was very funny. Probably the funniest episode so far.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what would you say is the funniest episode so far?
Yeah, maybe this one. You're right.
Yeah. There's definitely been a lot of funny moments, but
like Seymour's episode.
Showing, but I think this takes the cake.
I know the Mount Moon one was pretty funny. I don't know if it was actually funny or like we just made it funny with what we were saying.
For that one, I think we just made it funny. I'm having my suspicions about Seymour.
I must say, I really enjoyed this episode. There wasn't much, of a plot or a moving story or anything, but like I said, it was just very comedy driven. A lot of recurring themes like Brock getting hurt. Like first it was Pikachu, then it was Charmander. Same thing with James and Jesse. They got hurt falling through the floor, then they got electrocuted, then they got flamed, and then they're eternally tortured on a carousel of horror.
My God.
With Gengar and Ghastly.
So terrible. I'm gonna have nightmares tonight.
Yeah. Like, it wouldn't be so bad if it was just like the Pokemon was a show to drive people from the Earth is flat. He's right. It is exactly what this is. Notice they never show a round Earth in Pokemon. Just kidding.
Okay, yeah. Hello, JK. I was like, is this a Kyrie's burner account?
We got
Nice.
I would say the highlights of the episode though was just anything with Haunter in it. It was great. Although I feel like they probably could have cut back with some of the joking scenes and maybe gave Haunter some more motivation as to why he left with Ash. Because, you know, the last scene with them before he leaves with them, Ash is literally like breaking their heart and saying he doesn't want to live with them and returning back to his body. You know?
Right.
And I understand, you know, like Haunter may have had fun with them, but they all had fun with them. You know?
Right.
And like, why did
Haunter was the one that killed him, though. There's probably a special bond between.
Reach into the void of his body and pull out his lifeless soul. You know.
You know, I've never killed a person, but I imagine there's some kind of bond there.
And like Ash has like no like culture. He's just like with it. He's like, oh, I'm dead. Let me go fuck with Misty. You know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go attempt to murder her, and she'll never know it's me. He's not like having like an existential crisis, like, oh, I'm dead. There's so much I still wanted to do. I never got. Oh my gosh, my mom. I never got to tell her I loved her again. He's like, no, where's Misty at? Time to teach this hoe a lesson.
And he's like, I hope Brock catches her.
Yeah, here you go, Brock. Knowing Brock can't hear him. Only Misty heard him. You know.
That was like a 10-foot drop, man. Probably more. Only you would go to do that.
Only you would go through that thought of logic.
Nice.
I'm just saying, there were some suspicious things going on this episode.
This is literally what I love doing these Poke showings with Rayman, because when the episode ends, he starts talking about stuff I would never have ever thought about.
Yeah. And can we talk about, how we were saying in the episode, I don't know if you saw it or not, but these ghosts were actually pretty, they were a little vindictive and cruel, but they were also very childlike and innocent in nature.
Yeah.
So we have our suspicions that these were murdered children in this tower.
Wait, what are you talking about, we? I did not have that suspicion.
What if...
I thought they were young ghosts, not little children murdered and put into a tower.
Do you think they died there? Oh my gosh!
Well,
what if they were
obviously.
What if they were little children? And this would make sense. And their parents were like royalty or something, and they were like, "We'll be back." You know, like all the jokes of dads leaving for cigarettes or milk and never coming back. And these children just waited in this tower until they died. Yeah. And that's why they're so playful and get excited every time someone comes and visits. And maybe that's why they're so evil when the first people who walk in, they're like, oh, this is not my mom and dad, and so they just torture the heck out of them. Yeah? You think something? You think we're getting behind the no?
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let's do that. I don't know, man. I mean, I'm glad you gave it so much thought, though. I really am. Fire Zombie says, y'all touched the creepypasta. The original Japanese game had a censor to the tower's theme music because they were causing people to commit suicide.
That is true.
Oh,
that's true.
This is the one from the Lavender
Yes,
song,
yes,
right?
it is.
That's true, yeah.
He's right.
I heard that story, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are right. Ooh.
Okay, so according to Fire Zombie, you're saying that there were a little kid that committed suicide in a tower.
Yeah, I like that even better. The music there.
Would.
Them kids. By doing like you said earlier, that shot of the three ghosts together, great. That shot of them flying in front of the moon, great. You know, that up close of Haunter looking Charmander, great. This is some nice shots. I feel like they did them a lot of justice when they wanted to. You know, when the eyes weren't bulging out of their head. I feel like they did a good job characterizing and giving these Pokemon, actual characteristics. You know?
Right.
They have a personality.
Absolutely, they had a personality. And I think that's part of the reason.
Which is more than I can say for Charmander. Charmander has almost no personality, you know?
I feel like we did get a little bit out of Charmander this time. He's kind of... He is kind of weak, right?
Oh, yeah.
And he's not very efficient. I don't know.
He did his little fireball jutsu, and he was winded after that.
Yeah, he was winded. I mean, I guess Ash isn't using him very often anyway, but yeah, not a big fan of Charmander. I'd take him out and grab Krabby myself, but he still has a 6th spot anyway on his team.
This Haunter is probably the strongest Pokemon he owns now.
No, I don't know, man. That Pikachu.
Yeah, it has blown up a whole Pokemon.
Something else.
It's done some crazy
things. Something else. Yeah. I agree. Lots of really good design, graphics, a lot of great comedy. This is fun. As far as encounters, our encounters today were Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. Correct?
Which would you choose?
Design-wise, I just like Haunter better. Yeah, obviously Gengar is much stronger, but I pick Haunter just for design purposes. And if we're gonna go off of their personality too, I think Haunter was just a little bit funnier too than the other two.
Mm-hmm.
Ghastly didn't seem like he was too comical. It seemed like he was more. Or I think he had like a different sense of humor than Haunter and Gengar.
Yeah.
He was more of like, I'm gonna appear here and scare the crap out of you. He was more of like a jumping kind of, like his humor was trying to get people to jump and get scared. Where Haunter and Gengar were more trying to make other people laugh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like their humor includes everyone, while Ghastly's humor is subjective to himself. You know, at the expense of others.
Right, and that rings true to how he was in the last episode we saw him.
Yeah. Ghastly is a more of the creepy uncle version of Dracula. Yeah. If you heard him talk in the last episode in a tower, he's like, "I'm always Ghastly."
I'm always Ghastly. Yeah.
Ghastly is the only other Pokemon too that I can think of that actually speaks English. Aside from Meowth.
Yeah, but Meowth was trained to do so, right? Ghastly just straight up speaks.
I don't know Meowth's backstory yet.
There's an episode of his backstory. He worked really, really, really hard at learning English or Japanese or whatever you're watching it on.
Yeah, but Ghastly just knows it. Maybe because he's a dead person. I don't know.
Or a dead cloister.
Yeah, or a dead child.
Or a dead child. We're going with Suicide Child, right?
Suicide Child.
Yeah.
Alright, so what's your rating? Hey, Fire Zombie and Stony Homie, if y'all are there, out of 5, what would you rate this episode?
Yeah.
What would you rate it, Brian?
Out of 5, what would you rate this episode? And if you want to tell us your favorite ghost Pokemon, that'd be cool too. Okay. I feel like we're on a roll, honestly, with good episodes. With the exception of maybe the giant Pokemon. I think the episodes have been getting better. And not necessarily in a progressive kind of way, just in whatever they're going for each episode. Like before, we'd get some episodes that, okay, this episode is going for, I don't know, for example, Thriller. This one's going for, like, overcoming something, you know? And usually they weren't doing it very well.
0.2. Is that a
0.25?
Is that a double boring. Decimal? 0.25.0. So it's got a quarter.
It's IT.
A quarter of one. Yeah, it's an IT lingo.
Quarter of one.
He's got a quarter of one.
A quarter of one. Yikes.
That's pretty bad. And I ruined.
Decimal
it's a decimal and a period. Oh my god. It's every function a dot can have. He managed to include it in his rating of me ruining this episode for him.
I think I'm the boring one between us two. but I would say that this episode was going for comedy and horror. Maybe horror, maybe not. I think it was just going for comedy, honestly, and it did a great job. And so I'm gonna go. This is 2 episodes in a row. I'm gonna go with 4.5. So I'm gonna give it 4.5 licks to Jesse's face. And I don't remember if Jesse got licked today. But if I was a ghost Pokemon, that's who I'd be licking.
Honest answer, 4.3. Oh, Fire Zombie with the high rating.
4.3. Okay, all right. We see you. Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like the difference between the beginning episode to this one is I feel like they were using those time to kind of establish the characters and kind of like put them in scenarios that get us to know the main characters more. Whereas now they can just have something going on in the background and have the characters reacting to that and we know them well enough to know that's true to them or not. You know?
Oh, so you think that a lot of the older, boringer episodes were just boring because we had to focus so much on character development that wasn't even happening?
What little character development they gave these characters was there in the beginning, you know? Now so much, we know Ash is like arrogant, confident, you know, like
murderous.
Like he's manipulative, you know? They don't have to tell us and show us these things anymore. They can have things going on around him and have Ash react to them now. Instead of
he
doesn't
have to go all in.
Ash is no longer like the moving force of the plot and the story. The story happens around Ash now. Ash is going through the things. I would give this a 4. I felt like in the beginning it was trying to be a horror episode with the mist, you know, with the tension building to enter the tower, with the ghastly, you know, like scaring Team Rocket, and it switched to comedy, you know, like halfway through. I feel like this episode has a major identity issue that they probably should have stuck with. I personally would have enjoyed it if it stayed on track with the previous episode and kind of kept that horror scary theme. But like I said, it was hilarious. I loved the episode. I love the jokes. I love Haunter and Gengar watching TV and imitating it. Yeah, I feel like a 4 though. There are things I changed. There are things I leave the same. The art and drawing was beautiful.
Great.
All the characters, I feel like, didn't get in the way of the story. They kind of just rolled with it, for better or for worse.
So I don't know if you've thought about it, but what kind of things would you have changed if you made it more? When you're saying you would have liked a little more horror, would you have still kept in a lot of the comedy, or were you hoping for just a whole scary episode?
No, I would think they had to go with one or the other. They could keep it comedy and still make a really good episode that's enjoyable, because they showed they can do the comedy very well with these Pokemon, you know?
Right.
Whereas I felt they kind of struggled a little more with the scary elements, you know, like maybe it would have been better to keep this a comedy episode based off what I saw.
Right.
But
so you're saying start the episode, for example, like the mist and all of that, throw that out and do something else.
Yeah, like they could have gave this tower its backstory, you know? Like they could have been reading, you know, like the creepy story of the tower as they were walking through the misty woods, you know, and have them getting scared at every little thing, you know? Or
I do have.
I would definitely, unless it's necessary, I feel like the tower was designed a little cheesy. Like I feel we need like an explanation on why this tower has horns, you know?
I don't know why it has horns.
Like, is this a government? Like, was this built with taxpayers' money? You know? Because we know Christianity exists in this universe, and that looks very demonic. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I was just gonna say that, Fire Zombie. Yes, he says comedy and horror are very similar. Timing and exaggeration are key for both, but for some reason it is hard to do both at the same time.
100%.
You know,
very well worded.
But people have pulled it off. Yeah. There's a lot of people that pulled it off. I remember there's one
very articulately worded. I want to point out that was very good.
Yes, absolutely. There's a movie, I honestly cannot remember the title of it. It's from New Zealand, and it's about these vampires, and I think that one does it really, really well of like making a horror film that's actually incredibly hilarious. Remember what it's called though.
Another thing that changes, like I really want that motivation behind Haunter leaving his 2 life and death partners, you know? Because there's no closure on that, you know? Like, who knows how much time they've spent together, you know? Yeah, that's probably really about it. I love, maybe a little less Charmander jokes. I find Charmander to be very boring.
Agreed. Agreed. But they have to flesh something out with that character.
Yeah.
Which I don't really get, because now it's because we're rewatching Pokemon. But before we started rewatching Pokemon, if I asked you about Charmander or Charmeleon, I bet you wouldn't remember that much.
Yeah.
Everyone remembers Charizard. What We Do in the Shadows. Is that the movie? Oh, let me look it up.
I also don't really understand Team Rocket's purpose in this episode.
It's not that one. I've never seen this one before. Is that one? Oh wait, yes it is, isn't it? It's the guy. It's the one from with what's his name? The rock guy from Thor. No.
Yeah, I mean, aside from like a couple jokes, like Team Rocket really didn't serve any purpose in this episode.
Yeah. And the guy from Flight of the Conchords. Yeah. I have to rewatch it. I don't remember much about it. But yeah. Team Rocket definitely wasn't as necessary in this episode, although they did also have their own funny moments.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they were funny, but I feel like that's time that better could have been spent, exploring the world around them, or giving closure or backstory,
Yeah. I still flinch every time Meowth uses his scratch attack.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, they could have, instead of flying around the forest purposely, playing jokes on Misty, like, maybe he could have helped Gengar and Ghastly find closure in their death, and that's why Haunter is thankful and goes with them, and...
Oh man, that would be hard to put into the time limit, I think, no?
Well, I'm saying if they took away all the times they're trying to scare us, and take away Team Rocket, like, there could have been better use of that time, to build a more fulfilled story.
Wouldn't that cause more of an identity issue, though, in this episode?
No, they kept it, like, just funny, Like, maybe their death, like, they were, like, made, like, a cocoa route. They were poisoning some chorizo or something,
okay.
Something funny.
But then they'd have to explain what they were before they were dead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I don't think Pokemon wants to do that. I don't think Pokemon wants to tell you where ghost Pokemon come from.
It's kind of like where babies come from. It's like taboo to talk about. I'll tell you where ghost Pokemon come from when you're older.
Right. In fact, I'll show you.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Good episode. Yeah, 4 and 4.5. All right. Well, I've actually enjoyed the chat going off today. Thank you guys for participating. It's been awesome.
Yeah.
It makes it much more exciting to have your guys' takes on all this stuff too.
Yeah, that Fire Zombie, you've come through with some great facts and stuff. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, we're going to be doing this. We do the Poke Showings every Thursday and Saturday. And this Thursday, after the Poke Showing, we're going to get back to our playing MMO. We're at the Elite Four.
This should be the conclusion of my ripe run.
Hopefully. Hopefully. It is rough.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Thank you guys for coming.
Yeah, thanks for participating, coming out, watching, and experiencing this episode with us. Give your sniffers some Nala eyes, and where do we dangle our chins, Granola Man? Our bananas?
Dangle our chins from our bananas.
Yes.
No. No, just save all those Nala Doomy eyes for us, please.
For us.
For us.
All right, guys. Peace out. We'll see you next Thursday.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys.
8 p.m. Central.